When you think of high-performance teams, you probably think about discipline, efficiency, accountability. People showing up on time, early even, meeting deadlines, hitting targets, or blowing past them. Sure, that's what you want. But what if I told you that's just the byproduct of high performance? Most leaders go after the wrong thing first. I'm Maria DeLorenzis Reyes. I'm a rebel leader, and this is my Oxford Talk. If you've been chasing outputs instead of what truly drives your team's high performance, you're leaving massive potential untapped. If you want to stop chasing what you've been told to go after and start cultivating what truly drives high performance, you're a rebel leader too, and I'm happy you're here. The common mistakes leaders make when it comes to cultivating high-performance teams are exactly what you've been taught as leaders. Does this sound familiar to you? We enforce compliance, push harder for results. We think, if people just did their jobs. We enforce strict rules, rigid processes, pressure for results. We believe that performance comes from compliance. You can have the most skilled people in the world, but if they're disconnected, mistrustful, or unseen, you might have a good team for a while, but you'll never have a high-performing team for the long term. Most organizations are still being led with an industrial-era top-down control and command playbook, a model that was built for factories and compliance, not innovation and human potential. Back then, leaders didn't need creativity, they needed compliance. People who could follow rules, punch the clock, and execute repetitive tasks. That model worked for machines, but your team, they're not machines. They're human beings with creativity, aspirations, and the innate desire to contribute something meaningful. And that is what AI will never replace. And yet, this outdated approach is still everywhere. It's baked into corporate policies, leadership training, and even the way we define a good employee: quiet, agreeable, obedient. That model is flawed, it's outdated, and it doesn't work in today's world. It might produce compliance in the short term, but it will never produce the kind of commitment, creativity, and ownership that define a truly high-performing team. And it is definitely not how rebel leaders lead. When leaders chase compliance instead of connection, the symptoms are easy to see. Burnout. People are constantly pushed to do more with less, leaving them depleted. Disengagement. Employees stop bringing ideas to the table because no one's listening. Internal competition. Teams start fighting each other for credit instead of collaborating. And turnover. Your best people quietly walk out the door, leaving behind mediocrity. These aren't performance problems, they're culture problems. And they are the cost of leading with the wrong focus. The rebel leader knows that performance starts on the inside. External performance is a direct reflection of internal culture. The way your employees feel and work together will determine exactly how your clients experience your business. That's why connectedness is the culture cure. It's what transforms a group of employees into a team of owners. Belonging is the hidden performance driver, the invisible force that makes people give their best, not because they have to, but because they want to. Rebel leadership is about breaking from that old corporate think. It's about leading in a way that's human first, connection-driven, and culture-powered. And that's not soft, it's strategic. It's not about lowering standards, it's about unlocking the capacity that traditional leadership models shut down. At its core, rebel leadership builds the environment where performance happens naturally, and it rests on 4 non-negotiables. Let's start with psychological safety. People speak up without fear. Psychological safety goes far beyond whether someone feels comfortable offering an idea in a meeting. It's about creating an environment where people know they won't be dismissed, undermined, or silenced. Where they're free to not only share their perspectives, but also to raise concerns, challenge the status quo, and tell the truth about what's really happening. And here's the nuance. Safety isn't just about freedom from embarrassment or criticism. It's about freedom from environments that feel hostile, isolating, or threatening in any way. If people are carrying unspoken fears about whether they belong, whether they're respected, or whether they'll be protected when it matters most, they will never bring their full selves to the table. When safety is present, people step forward with honesty and courage. When it's absent, they retreat into silence. And silence is dangerous because it hides the very truths that could change the trajectory of your team. And then there's belonging, that they matter and are a part of something bigger. This isn't lip service. Belonging means every person knows they are truly invited and not just tolerated. At Oxford Business School, I spoke about how hospitality is the foundation of belonging. Welcoming people fully, not just giving them a place at the table, but making them feel like they were meant to be there all along. And then there's connection. Trust is built through authentic relationships. Performance doesn't happen in isolation, it happens in connection. Connection is built in the moments between the meetings, in the small gestures of care, in leaders choosing transparency over secrecy. Trust is a byproduct of authentic connection. And trust is what allows teams to move fast without second guessing or workplace games. And finally, empowerment. Autonomy plus clarity equals ownership. Empowerment isn't just do whatever you want. It's clarity of expectations paired with autonomy in execution. When people have both, they step up with ownership. They take initiative because they know where they're going and they trust that they have the permission to get there in their own way. When these four conditions are present, safety, belonging, connection, and empowerment, something shifts. Teams stop operating out of fear or pressure, and they start operating out of choice. True high performance comes from people being seen, valued, and safe to contribute. Their ownership becomes voluntary and intrinsic, not forced or manufactured. When I talked about byproduct at the beginning of this talk, there are other byproducts that are seen: increased revenue, employee retention, freely given mentorship. And the ultimate byproduct is collaboration. Collaboration happens because your team wants to, not because they have to. And that's when collaboration flows naturally. And it sets the stage for how I want you to picture your company. I'm going to ask you to think of your company like a theater production. Don't worry, I'm not going to ask you to sing or dance. Let's start with the audience, who you serve. The audience, your customers, see the polished performance on stage. The lights, the lines, the timing, it all looks effortless. But backstage, that's where the real magic happens, or where it can fall apart. If backstage is chaotic, toxic, or disconnected, the dysfunction eventually shows on stage. When backstage is coordinated, supportive, and every person knows their role and feels valued, the performance is flawless, and the audience feels it. The sum of the parts, the ensemble. You want a high-performing team performing as an ensemble. The ensemble of your high-performance team is built backstage in the rehearsal process, long before the curtain rises. And the rebel leaders who create a safe space for their people build the backstage experiences. This is what creates teams that receive standing ovations every single time. Let's talk about tickets to the production. Are you giving out tickets to everyone because they are truly meant to be included? Too many organizations do what's called paper the house, just handing out seats, but not truly welcoming people. Inclusion without belonging is just optics. True high performance comes when people feel both invited and invested, when they know they're indispensable to the production. Who in your organization is invited but not truly welcome? Where are you withholding connection or support? If your team was a theater company, would people want to keep showing up Would they strike the set together after rehearsal, or would they leave quietly through the stage door, not lifting a finger? High performance isn't about pushing harder. It's about connecting deeper. High-performing teams are not defined by compliance, rigid rules, or relentless pressure. They're defined by commitment, creativity, and connectedness. Rebel leaders don't push harder, they connect deeper. You are responsible for lives, your team's lives, not just their outputs. People bring their whole lives into work. Their sense of identity, worth, and possibility is shaped in part by what they experience on your team. When you lead with connection, you're not just increasing performance, you're improving lives. And when lives improve, performance follows naturally. If you want your team to be one that wins together, start by being the kind of rebel leader who makes them want to show up. High performance is not just about metrics. It's about human potential, and you, as a rebel leader, are responsible for cultivating it. Bravo.